This is Pyrion Flax's guide to FTL. I normally do guides about Dota 2, but I love this game, and so I thought I'd bring it to your attention. This is a game that perhaps you might not know about because it's fairly new, and it's not some big budget AAA title. It's an indie title from Subset Games, and they started off with a Kickstarter, and they ended up with an awesome game. It's like a dude winning the lottery and then opening an orphanage with the money. FTL is exactly as good for society as an orphanage, and I won't hear otherwise. Okay? It's a space game. You're in space, in a spaceship. You look at your ship in a sort of architectural plan view. You got your engines and your shields and your guns and all that. So far, so space. That plan view of the ship is kind of like the drawings I used to do of spaceships when I was a kid, and I'd sort of plan out where all the rooms were going to go and all the different systems and stuff. And you put the shields and you draw the crew, and then you draw explosions to kill all that stuff. And that's FTL right there. It's the end result of my drawings as a child. I'm sure I wasn't alone. You've got different races in the game. You've got humans, right? As usual, the bland oatmeal of spacefaring races. We just shit at everything. And it's not just because we're familiar, it's just because as a species we're boring as shit. We've got no powers, we're flimsy, weak, can't turn into other things, like turn into a giant balloon and float to safety or turn into some kind of killer thing. All we do is just sort of mope around saying, oh, but we're still somehow valued by all the other races. Like, oh, you humans have emotions and can teach us of love and art. Fuck that! Fuck that! What about being able to turn someone inside out with your mind? Something practical. Then you got the Engies. They're like these robot engineers, awesome at repairing stuff, terrible at hand-to-hand combat. I like to have a bunch of them on standby for when the satellite box goes on the fritz. You just boosh, drag an Engie out, done. They're great at working out the tab in restaurants, like that sort of one super nerd friend that everyone has. The Zoltan. They're electrical dudes. They just make energy, just walking around. They just give off power. Very handy. But they're terrible at fighting because they're as weak as green electrified kittens. The Mantis, deadly insect foe. They're sort of or they might be on your side. They're sort of like that scene in Temple of Doom where the chick is covered in bugs, except these ones are even bigger, and they talk and they can teleport on board your ship and kill everybody. And they have a spaceship, and they're shit at repairing, but they're really, really good at canaster for some reason. Then you got the rock people. It's a giant rock. It gives very few fucks, least of all about fire, okay? They're infuriatingly slow, almost lazy. They sort of meander around like a lazy river. And then the other two races, slug people, weirdos, crystalline dudes, very weirdos. That's it. The gameplay is astonishingly simple. You fly around in space, jumping from star to star like some kind of traveling circus. And that's just what you do. You go from star to star, taking in the sights. Some of those sights will be nice things, like they've got binary star systems with like two suns elegantly poised in opposing yet conjoined orbits, your stunning nebulas, clouds of interstellar gas, the very breeding ground of new planets and stars. And then you've got planets themselves teeming with life, like the underside of a mossy stone turned over, spiders and centipedes scurrying around thinking, thanks, butthole, we were having a party and you just fucked it up. And then you sometimes come across these happy, friendly people at these stars who'll lavish you with gifts of fuel and ammo and weapons, and you'll think all that nasty stuff they said about space is a lie. Space is awesome. It's like a continual series of parties. You're just going from house party to house party, just like that poster you saw at the Space Recruitment Bureau. Everything's going to be cool in space. And then you bump into the bad guys. And this is where I start to get a crick in my neck and a twitch in my eye, and the vein in my head starts to pulse, because this game will drive you absolutely mad. I have not beaten it in nearly 200 hours of gameplay. I'm not even kidding. My friend, it came out a couple of weeks ago, my friends beat it within a matter of hours. They're like, yeah, I beat it, dude. Here's how. And I was like, what? Like, I spent hours on this game. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a world record for most attempts without finishing the game. I've got to the end boss, and I've tried to find him a bunch of times. I just can't do it. I've actually had it confirmed by Ripley's Believe It or Not. There is a big mannequin of me in Ripley's with, believe it or not, P. Flax is a turd at this game just on it. And if you press a button, the mannequin cries tears of blood and smashes itself in the groin with a space hammer, which is kind of like, it's like a normal hammer, but it's just inexplicably chrome. I've been playing this since the early Kickstarter beta days, and I can tell you right now, just when you think everything is going swimmingly, you'll die. Just horribly, horribly, horribly. There are no saves to back you up other than the save on exit, which they added. Like, people were screaming, please God, give us a save on exit. So all you can do is basically save the game to go cry in the corner for a while, and then you have to come back to it. You've got, I mean, basically, if you're going to play FTL, you've got to man up. You've got to man the fuck up. Imagine this. You're cruising along in space. You've got level 3 shields. You've got a sweet array of weapons at your disposal. Everything's going great. You think whatever comes our way, no problem. You've got your cloaking device. You've got grand designs on completing the game. You ready? Okay, you ready? Get ready. Take your feet and dip them in a vat of boiling water. Leave them to soak there for 20 minutes with some rosemary, nice salt and pepper, and a chicken stock. And now take your fingernails and remove them all one by one, and your teeth, and pull all your hair out one follicle at a time, and then pluck out thine eyes, and gougeth thine ears, and just carve your living heart from your body, and send it to your worst enemy in a velvet-lined box, just with "you win" on a card. Because suddenly, you'll have an encounter that seems custom designed to screw you over. You have level 3 shields? Fuck you. We use just missiles that go straight through it. It's okay. We've got a crew of 3 NGs. They're really good at repairing. Fuck you. We're going to board you with Mantis assault troops. Our first missiles will hit your med bay. The second will hit the door controls, so you can't even flood the ship with vacuums and all hide somewhere. The third will take out all the shields, and now the beam drones that they've also launched on you will just carve your ship to pieces. Well done. Now you have to run around. You've got to fight the killer insects, reroute the power conduits through the backup Nexus Warble generator, and there's a fire in the weapons bay. What are you going to do? The game just messed with you, right? It's just, the computer just thought, whoa, Nelly, we've got to slow this guy down, we're going to do this encounter, we're going to custom design it. No. That's the biggest kick in the balls about this game. The game is, all the encounters are totally randomly generated. So it means that fate itself has decreed that you need to suffer. It's like reading the Bible and finding out there's a bit in there about you. Like Judges 3:76, and lo, Flax was taken from the city, and he was forced to play FTL until his eyes burned, and his brain was turned to liquid, and he was killed there, and the people threw up a great party in honor of FTL for killing Flax, and God saw it, and it was good, and he high-fived the makers of FTL, and then, when he lost his entire crew because he forgot to turn on the life support after a fight, God smote them too. It's just when you think things are going well, you think, great, I'm just going to get to a shop, I'll buy some missiles, I'll maybe go to drone bay, and you'll bump into a ship that just, it's the fuck you of space encounters. It's sort of like sometimes it's like an awesome episode of Star Trek where Picard's like, open a hailing frequency number 1, and they open the, we come in peace, and the aliens go, sweet, us too, have free shit. And Picard's like, awesome, and then the very next week, you'll have a totally different episode. It's the worst episode of Star Trek ever. Picard's like, open up hailing frequency, Mr. Worf. We come in peace, according to the Prime Directive. And Worf just goes, sir, they've fired all their weapons. Our shields did nothing. 90% of the crew is dead and we're on fire. And Picard goes, number 1, boom, end of episode. Star Trek ends. It's a 2-minute episode, and you think, what happened? It was like partway through season 3. There's no way it could end. Like, why is Picard just floating in space now, just dead? So this, I mean, the beauty of FTL is that sometimes you'll be running around with your crew, like fighting fires. You're desperately trying to open doors and just get one missile off and knock out their weapons, and then maybe you can get your drone bay on time. And you can see the crew on the enemy ship is doing the same shit. Like, they're all running around going, there's a fire! Ah! So it's like this coming together of ships in space, and it's all going shit for both of you. Like, you know, sometimes you'll be just on the verge of exploding, and the enemy ship will hail you and say, wait up, let's just chill. And you'll be like, thank God, no, I mean, yes, lower your shields and power down your weapons and give us all your shit. And then they'll beam it all over, and you're both just chilling in space, trying to play it cool. You're desperately putting out fires and repairing stuff. And then, because the fires continue to burn, and the damage continues to be done, their ship will blow up. And then your ship, you can't put out the fires, and your ship will blow up. And then, you know, both, like, either your crew will be incinerated in the explosion, or they'll be ejected from the ship by the force of the engines going loopy, and then your frozen corpses will drift side by side through space alongside the frozen corpses of the other ship, just for all eternity. Just these frozen, these corpsicles drifting forever for millions of years, tumbling through the vast, limitless emptiness of the void, past exoplanets barreling along at tens of thousands of miles an hour, perhaps even past other space vessels whose paths will crisscross the firmament before falling into an uncaring sun and returning to the void from whence you came. Your atoms will be rendered back into nothingness, and just you will enter the great circle of life that is this universe of ours. But maybe that's reading too much into it, I don't know. All in all, what I can say is that FTL is one of my favourite games ever, and I've only had it for like a few months. It's extremely addictive, it's a ton of fun, and I genuinely cannot recommend it highly enough. It's also a bargain, and you can get it on Steam for like $10 or something like that. Get this game. I urge you to get this game, if only because I want other people to suffer as much as I have when you've got the ship of your dreams and you just had 3 random weapon drops in a row, and you've got all your shields, you've got all your crew, they're all leveled up and ready to roll, and then you just die in a fucking horrible, merciless inferno. Yeah, that's FTL. I'd recommend it.